on on the behalf of the committee on MSME and startup, on today webinar, I welcome our speaker, Mr. Vikas Rai, and our coordinator, CS Sachin Dagan. Today our topic is role of banking in support to MSME. So I request to our coordinator, CS Sachin ji, please give the welcome note to our speaker and introduction of him.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, friends. Myself, C.A. Sachin Dargan, and I will introduce today's speaker, Mr. Vikas Rai. So he is currently placed at Kotak Mahindra Bank in the capacity of Assistant Vice President in Priority Banking, and he deals with all the business banking customers. His total banking experience is 10 years, and in fact, 5 years with the Kotak itself. His last assignment in terms of its role is wealth management. And as far as his education is concerned, he's MBA Finance from MS University, Tamil Nadu, and he's also a BCom Honors graduate from Merit College. His background has been of army family, and so in that term, I can say that he's more disciplined, and so he's closely working with MSME banking, and that is the reason he's here to elaborate about the currently what MSME what MSMEs are doing, and how their growth is connected with the banking, and what support is being initiated by the bankers. So I'll request Vikas to start on this presentation.
Good afternoon, all of you, and thanks Mr. Devang Sharma and Mr. Sachin Dargan for giving me such an opportunity to discuss about the MSME, like banking role in support to MSME. So first I would like to discuss about what MSME have impacted for the last 5-7 years in the Indian economy. So I would like to start my presentation to first provide you some background on the what exactly India have impacted in the last 5-7 years due to the change in the government like policies and initiatives. So I would like to share. So like I would like to share the top 10 trends of today's India, and to start with, first trend is like what India income pyramid is changing. If you see how evolving income distribution is with rising affluence in India. So if you see like in 2015-16, and if you compare it to 2020-21, I have divided the income segregation between the like income ranges between the people less than 1.25, more than the destitutes, like the income people ranging like 1.25 lakh is changing from 209 million to 196. Like there is a rise in the income range of 1.25 to 5 lakh income bracket. If you see, compare between the like 2015-16, if you talk about, there are 735 million income range people fall in this category. Now they are keep on rising on like year on year. If you compare, like it was 735 million Indians was in the income range of 1.25 to 5 lakh. Now they are in 732 million in 2020-21. If you just see the middle class segment, they were 349 million in the count. Now they are rising to 432 million. And we are anticipating, like in the coming 2000, we are expecting like share of middle class and rich household will be more than 50% by 2031, which was currently 29% in 2016. So we are expecting like by 2047, if political and economic reforms have their desired effect, the Indian income pyramid will have a smallish layer at the bottom comprising the destitute and aspire group, like a huge bulge of the middle class and a big creamy rich layer on top. It is just happening because of the impact of the MSMEs, and this is a consumption story if we talk about. And there are the scope of lot of scope for the MSME to contribute the Indian economy, like by following the government initiatives, which lot of initiative government have reform have introduced. Second trend is India GDP growth. So like India is the fastest among the major economies. If you see by 2027-28, India will touch its goal post $5 trillion GDP and become the third largest. So if you see the chart here, so as compared to like China is the only one who are ahead of India, and India is steadily growing, and they are stable, and we are expecting all the demands coming to India. If you compare the Donald Trump is the recent news, like he is in the now he is in the US, about to be the US president. So as per the scenario, he don't like China. So if definitely they will create some hurdles for the Chinese government. So definitely the Chinese demand, the rise of Indian demand will increase in the market. So these are some positive impact for the GDP. So in Q1 FY25, India remains the fastest growing major economy, as China's GDP growth in the April-June quarter was 4.7%. 6.5% growth rate is estimated for India in FY25, marking the third consecutive year of the fastest growth among major economies. In FY25, India GDP will reach $4 trillion, putting at par with Japan in terms of economic size. Third trend is urbanization. Like urbanization trends in India, if you talk about the urban population in 1991 was 18%, and what if you see by 2011 it goes to 52, like rise of 31%, and in 2024 it has already gone to 37% of urbanization in the Indian economy. So in India, the population is booming in the scores of small cities across the country. As stated in the latest economic survey 2023-24, it is expected that by 2030, more than 40% of the Indian population will live in urban areas. So like it is just possible because of the what MSME has contributed to the Indian economy, and what they have what they have the opportunities, like people are moving from rurals to urban, so they are creating large of MSME has created lost a lot of like job creation options for person to come up to the curve and contribute in the Indian economy. Fourth trend, which is currently going on the Indian economy, is the changing family setups. If you see here, so earlier times, there was a concept of joint family, like 8 to 10 members used to live in the family. So it is just a overall impact. If you see earlier how demand rises and how MSME have contributed. So it is just because of the changing of the family setups also. So earlier we used to have a one TV, or you can have a one car at a family of 8 to 10 members. Now in the today's scenario, if you see people are going to for the nuclear family, like 4 to 5 members and with double income. So like earlier people used to have a one TV, one fridge. Now we are like due to the nuclear family, now they are having two television, two fridge, two cars, separate cars. So there is a rise in demand, and who is contributing to it? the MSME sector and the domestic demands. It is all just possible because the people are having their income range going towards like having a double income, or they are having a lot many sources just because of the self dependence and impact of the MSMEs.
In fact, Vikas, I would like to add from this chart. Earlier we used to live in joint families.
Yes.
Then it became nuclear family, and then double income, right? So that means earlier, if we will see, the business used to be the joint businesses because the
Yes.
families were joint. So there was only single business. Now the businesses are also getting divided. So that means a number of MSMEs are also growing.
Yes.
As well as the income is also growing. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yes. So changing spend pattern, like decision makers in nuclear households, younger and more optimistic than those in joint families, base their consumption decision more on lifestyle consideration and the need to keep pace that one on the need for functional necessities, especially in such categories as consumer durables and apparels. Trend number 5 is like consumption explosion. If you see in the past FY23, there are 3 million people who have consumed, like spending on the jewelry purchase, Tanishq, IT filing of more than 10 lakh in the year assessment year 2022. It is 8 million. Average purchase.
So we have written Tanishq. That means the jewelry purchase, the data we have taken from Tanishq, or it was the Tanishq purchase or sales we have taken.
No, so I have used like it's a brand. So Tanishq has
So
a
brand-
like, so
as a
there are
brand,
n number
okay.
of, yes.
Okay.
So like I'm saying, like people are earlier used to have a normal gold purchase from like their nearby the showroom. Now
Right.
they are spending on the brands.
Okay.
So IT filing is so if you see these are the numbers, these are keeps on rising. Credit card spending, there people are 85 million they are spending. Mobile postpaid, there are 33 million. So if you see the mutual fund investor, they are 40 million in numbers. Annual flight travelers,
And they are increasing year on year.
yes. So because like if they are increasing, that means MSME. It is because like who is the consumables, like who have provided this options to the like
Corporates and MSMEs.
Ha.
So MSMEs
And they are also the benefited. Like if there are increase in demand, so definitely who will contribute, the MSMEs. Premiumization. So if you see the Indian customers are increasingly opting for higher quality and more diverse product. This trend is driven by the rising in income and affluent household, and it is expected to grow with around 80 million household by 2030. As a result, brands are catering to this demand by offering premium products and services, helping revive overall consumptions. Intergenerational shift. Till 2020, like people are using smartphones, spending is 60%. If you see 2020 onwards, it's gone up to 95% on the smartphones. Car ownership is also going double in numbers. If you see the spending towards buying better, like till 2020, it 32%, it goes up to 43%. Awareness of new consumption models, it has also gone more than double. Like earlier, till 2020, it was 30%, and now it is 7%. So why it is happening? Like people are having in their mindset the fear of missing out. Like one person is, for example, if you are in the offices or any of the public places, like one friend is having a iPhone 14. So whether other person is having their capacity or not, but they are spending just because of the fear of missing out.
They are in fact taking it on EMIs.
Yes.
I have seen lot many youngsters who are purchasing mobile phones expensive than their monthly salaries.
Yes.
So how they are purchasing? Basis the EMIs or the banks which are supporting them.
Leveraging, if you see, credit growth continues to rise, signaling robust demand in the Indian economy. So if we see increase in discretionary spends towards travel, interior, large ticket electronic purchases result in India rising demand. Youth and millennial contributing towards increase in credit growth with their unlimited aspiration for the goods, international travel, etc., resulting in higher demand for personal loan, consumer durables. So if you see the in the chart, there is a year-on-year growth. If you see the credit card spends, like in the financial year 19 was 6 trillion rupees. It is now in the financial year 24, it has gone up to 3 times. It's 18.2 trillion now. So if you see the loan against gold jewelry, this segment has contributed almost 1.3 lakh CR. Credit card outstanding is currently at 2.8 lakh CR. Personal loan is also moving. If you see the household sectors also, priority sector spend, it is also 28.1%. Also, like banks and other financial institutions, like if you see the Amazon has offering buy now, pay later kind of a scheme. So they have also boosted the demand in this consumption. If you all talk about risk return profile, depositor to investors, like household are deploying more savings into equity share in the last 5 years, like from 1.7 trillion rupees to it is currently at 2.2 trillion. Demat account also increased from 36 million from to up to 160 million in the last 5 years. Value of equity householding of individuals, like it is 2.4x, like 38 trillion to currently at 19 trillion. Mutual fund has also increased in the last, if you see post pandemic, now people are also aware of some of the investment opportunities. Like earlier they used to have a tendency of keep on saving through fixed deposits and recurring deposits. But if you see post the pandemic, they have contributed like the domestic market, the mutual fund contribution has keeps on rising. So in the last 4 years, it's 12 trillion to 30 trillion, and it is keep on rising. NPS AUM, if you talk about, they are also like 3.9x in the last 5 years, from 3.1 trillion to 12 trillion. Also, I would like to say some impact of this spending and domestic investor in the Indian economy. If you see, like earlier used to have FIIs used to contribute more in the Indian market. But now currently, in the current scenario, if you talk about, our market is less volatile. If you just forgot the last 1 month, if you see the past 5 year trend, so earlier used to have any of the negative news or any kind of political or geopolitical news come up, so Indian market used to have a drastically impact.
Drastic decline,
because,
right?
yes,
Right. Now that trend has changed.
because now in this currently the Indian economy, if you say the Indian markets, they are mostly driven by the domestic investors.
Right.
So we are, if you see any geopolitical tensions or any news, negative news regarding the economy comes up, so our market just correct only 1%, 2% in a day. Earlier, we used to have impact of 7-8% in a single day. Income outpacing demand, like there is high income leading to high aspirations. Consumer first, save later. We have already discussed. Now, like in the today's India, the young generation keeps on trying, experimenting new thing. They now, due to the rise in the income and due to the knowledge of the Indian investors and the youngsters, now they are taking risks. they are earlier used to have a tendency of doing a job is shifting towards to start their own ventures, and like MSME initiatives, and the governments have the way they have impacted in the last 10 years. So now people, every person want to have their own venture, or they have a tendency of taking risk now.
And in fact, government is also supporting startups.
Yes.
They have introduced, if you will see later in the state, I think they have introduced lot many schemes for startups and new MSMEs that we'll discuss later.
Yes, yes. So my reason for to discuss about all these factors, if the top 10 which are currently going on the economy is, it is just a background of like how MSME and how government initiatives have changed the Indian economy, and the current positioning of India in a global market. So it is just an impact of the how MSME have contributed, and how government have come up with new this things. In the current scenario, if you talk about the Sensex is crossed 80K marks, gold also crossed 80K per 10 gram. Fixed deposit and savings interest rate is also all-time high. So you all are aware of this MSME definitions. I will not go much deeper in this. So importance of MSME in Indian economy, I would like to highlight, like highest employment generation next to agriculture. Like number of people employed in agriculture are 148 million, while then MSME are 123 million in August 23. Note that this number will keeps on rising over and year on year. There are separate schemes for women and entrepreneurs, especially, which gives Indian women chance to get into the business, startups, and financial independent. MSME contributed around 30% to the India's GDP, and these are further it will go up due to the MSME contribution. In 23-24, MSME share of Indian export is 45.73%. Till the time there is an unemployment in India, MSME sector will further grow, and for which lot many schemes have been started. Some MSME registration initiative, like there are a lot of unregistered the sectors like unregistered people are running their ventures, but they are earlier they used to have unawareness of this MSME, so they used to miss out this government initiatives, and they were not fully aware of this. It is because majority of MSMEs are unregistered and cannot have access to their government grants, subsidies. So critical criteria for the development of MSME for proper planning of subsidies and grants is the data on MSME. So currently full data, financial or operational, was not available on MSMEs. So due to the government initiatives and lot many marketing strategies to promote the MSME to MSME's registration to capture the data, government has replaced old Aadhaar memorandum with Udyam registrations, and these are the site if you talk about to register and for the easily access. Forms registered with Udyam becomes eligible to receive the benefits of several government schemes such as subsidy, easy loans, and government have also introduced the direct benefit transfers, like to remove the duplication and to remove any frauds, and just to promote the actual beneficiaries and MSMEs are getting the timely transfer of the government schemes and subsidies directly to the beneficiaries. These are the segregation of the MSME in the total contribution. Like there are 39 million MSME in the total contribution. So micro contributed 97%, and small 1.5%, and medium is 0.8%. So as per Ministry of Finance, out of total 4 CR, 1.36 crore units are registered with GSTN. And this means a lot of MSME will come into the ambit of GST as they will grow, which gives CAs also for the large scope of work. So like MSMEs are also keeps on growing. So there is a demand of CAs also and scopes of work from them also. These are some benefits of Udyam registration, like industrial promotional subsidy, eligibility, interest rate subsidies on bank loan, collateral-free loans from banks, protection against delayed payment, against material service supply, ease of obtaining registration, license and approvals. MSME registered entity gets eligible for CLSS, like credit line capital subsidy schemes, government secured security deposit, EMD waiver, like for
So there are, I would like to add here that in this fifth point, MSME registered entity gets eligible for CLCSS.
Yes.
So basically, there are certain areas where the state government, different state governments are giving capital subsidies to various MSMEs to set up their factories in their industrial areas, their state, so that they can also improve. Like the best example is Jammu and Kashmir, where the almost 35% of the capital is given back to the clients or owners, MSME owners, in the form of subsidy. And apart from this, for 10 years tax holiday is already there.
Yes.
So there is a huge promotional
GST waivers and all.
campaigns are running from governments and banks, which generally many people are not aware of.
Correct.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So like benefits to MSMEs in India, like they are getting the tax benefit. So MSME can claim various tax rebates, lower tax regimes, loans, like MSME can get collateral-free loans, priority lending, loans at a reduced interest rate, government procurement. Also, like they have MSME can participate in government tenders. So they have a privilege to not to place any EMD as an MSME. Like earlier used to have a 10% of EMD to be deposited, so they get MSME also getting waiver into this protection against delayed payment. So MSME are protected against delayed payment. Like MSME Samadhan portal has been formed to promote the MSME, like to just to ensure their timely payment to their vendors also. Bill discounting, MSME can avail of bill discounting through threats. So threats, like they are having their quotation generated, so like they can avail the best quoted bank rates through threats for discounting to initiate just to immediate needs. Key schemes already, like Government of India has introduced for funding, like Startup India scheme. If you talk about Prime Minister, these are the scheme. If you talk about to promote the MSME, CGTMS is there, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana is there, SME IPOs, MSME.
So nowadays, SME IPOs is the talk of the town. If you can see, lot many MSMEs are coming to raise the money not only through debt but now through equity also. They have, SEBI has relaxed the norms for MSME IPOs, which used to be very higher for not big corporates. Now they have they only have to have 2 crores of capital to come up with the IPO. So these are the norms which relax, and this is only because they want to promote MSMEs, and through MSMEs, the government knows that different various labors will also start working with them. So unemployment will reduce.
Yes.
So that is a point. Startup India scheme where 10 crores of loan can be given to a startup, a company or a MSME which has just started up last year can avail 10 crore of loan. So these are lot many schemes which are coming up. Some people know, some people do not know.
Yes. So in the recent trends, if we talk about, if you have seen in the past like 1.5 year. So earlier we used to have MSME, or you can say they used to for meeting their demands and for the loans, they only used to earlier they used to have an option of like to go to the financial institution to raise the funds like group meeting. Now in the current scenario, we like why we have discussed on this the economy. Like so in the current scenario, India is having a cash rich economy currently. So there has n number of ample cash provided in the economy through like it is through mutual funds or everybody is having a cash rich. So like for now SMEs, MSMEs can take this option as an SME to take the fund from market. They can raise the fund from the market through this IPO. And SME IPO is a game changer for this. Like it is kind of a option. If you see, like people are going for a 10 crore demand and they are getting thousand crores or a kind of 4,500 crore kind of thing.
Absolutely agreed on this. Devangji, we will be taking any questions from. Have you got some questions? Okay, so some of the questions which have come up is what are the targets for banks and MSMEs? So first question is this. I think we were discussing this only
Yes.
in the morning. Vikas, would you like to elaborate on? So when you were saying that targets.
Yes, so like from like to promote the MSME from RBI, banks are getting their own set of target of to promote this MSME. So in for example, like if we talk about any all the private sector bank, they have a different department to cater a different segment. So like for example, there is a agri department, there is a working capital department, there is a lab department. So they bank used to set like distribute these MSME target to different department, and they are having their own set of targets to promote MSME apart from their regular lending procedures.
So this is one part that Vikas is saying. Obviously, he's right in saying that every department of a bank, has been given a separate targets. But as far as RBI is concerned, if we are talking about RBI gives 40% of the overall book must come through priority sector lending. So there is no separate MSME kind of a target, but yes, MSME comes under priority sector lending. So RBI says that every bank should have at least 40% of their book should go to PSL funding. That is the reason I think lot many CAs must have heard about portfolio buyouts, where suppose if a bank shorts of their targets of PSL, then they go and purchase the portfolios from different banks or in market or from NBFCs. Right?
Yes, right.
Then how co-op banks, that means cooperative banks, may help such MSMEs. So, yeah, you would say.
So like if we see the changing trend in the PSU segments also, like the cooperative banks, so their NPA is now decreasing on year. If you check the last 5-7 year trend, so earlier we used to have a high number of NPAs and they used to refuse like they used to keep their hands safe in offering the loans to this MSMEs, if you talk about. So now they are having enough cash, and like due to introduction of the fintechs, now they are steadily highly growing this SME loans to the MSMEs.
But yes, they have, so cooperative banks are generally very traditional banks. They do not have that kind of aggressive banks, but yes, they do take call on the, I would say, on the local MSMEs. So supposedly, if there are certain units in Daryaganj regarding the, there are lot many publishers based out in Daryaganj. So the banks situated in there, which are cooperative banks. So they definitely take a call on their local promoters, because they know the area vicinity. So that is definitely, they supports that kind of MSMEs. But if you talk about that one cooperative banks based out in Delhi, and they will support in suppose in South India, then definitely that is not going to be there. Then what kind of benefit MSMEs have compared to big market players?
So there are vintage, if you see.
Yeah, so lot many benefits have come up. In fact, if you will say, uh, so why governments are promoting MSMEs? Because they want every small person who is not employed must start their own work, and due to this, their I would say, their the economy will, they will drive the economy, Indian economy. So for which they are giving lot many incentive schemes. Like there is a scheme called Tough Subsidy. Tough is a, I would say, a subsidy where generally manufacturers from textile sector are included, which are given 2 to 4% of interest subsidy from banks whenever they set up their own factory. And this money, which we take in the form, which they take in the form of loan, are used to set up the factory as well as machineries,
To upgrade their
So
technology.
to upgrade their technologies, right? Similarly, there are lot many schemes which, if anyone who would be interested in knowing all these schemes, will definitely come up to me or Vikas, and we will help them understanding all the schemes, because lot many schemes are based on the industry. Like if you will see the chip making industry, so the government of India is promoting lot many schemes to promote this industry. Similarly, there are other kind of industries which definitely we can discuss one on one after this session. But yes, schemes are there. That is the reason. So I have told you the reason why government is promoting this. So apart from interest subsidy, I have told you that which we discussed earlier when we start the session, that there are capital subsidy schemes also, where government is giving back their capital 30 to 40% to the promoters back, because they want to start. They want. I would say promotion of their respective states or areas. So that is about kind of a benefit. And then what is the use of MSME data bank? I couldn't understand MSME data bank. What is this? Who is this person who has asked if we can connect separately on this MSME data bank?
So in the question number 6, in the trend number 5, we get that demands for brand names and established organizations is increasing. Can you please help understand what is the role of MSME in this upward trend? So I would like to highlight the MSME trend. Like who is, for example, like I'm catering, I'm taking example of apparel segment, for example. So the brand name Gas, for example. So if their demand of like people spending in this spending in for the like to people spending
so basically, they want. I think they want to. So
the role of
question is
MSME.
right,
So
yeah, because you have shown that brands are increasing,
Yes.
and how the MSMEs.
Yes. So
going up
like
for trend.
like the brand used to import the goods from, for example, if you talk about, I was talking about the brand gas, they used to import from India and different regions of the country. So MSME used to fulfill this manufacturing demand from, like they used to, the MSME used to get the order from the intermediary, like the aggregators, and they used to further transfer these orders to the MSMEs. So there are n number of like textile manufacturer. So who will fulfill this demand? The MSMEs.
So ultimately, he's right. Vikas is right, because brand. So if we are saying the brand's sales is increasing, that obviously means that the MSMEs will increase their sales, because they are taking. See, they are obviously not manufacturing everything in house. They are definitely doing it. They are giving it to job work to various MSMEs. If we will see, Maruti is manufacturing. Maruti has their manufacturing facility in Gurgaon or anywhere else. Definitely, they have their own OEMs who are not but the MSMEs which are growing. So they generally get all these equipments manufactured through through MSMEs, and obviously the consolidation happens in their factory. So this will be a double triple effect on MSMEs also when the big corporates are growing. What are the challenges faced by MSMEs in today's environment? Would you elaborate on this? Challenges?
Okay, so earlier we used to, what are the, so like there is a price, if you talk about for the, like, if we talked about the garment industry, for example. So today now there is a challenge of
So I would add on this. So when we are saying that challenges faced by MSME in today's environment, I think I would say that challenges which MSMEs used to face earlier are much lesser than what they are facing today, because government is in any which ways are increasing or promoting MSMEs. However, still the challenges currently which I or Vikas have seen over a period of time is the lack of knowledge about the bank's products, the lack of knowledge about the government schemes about the MSMEs, which definitely somehow a lot many people have come in this industry to promote this, but still there is a lack of knowledge about this, that in fact lot many I would say the small entrepreneurs have not registered themselves in Udyam Aadhaar. So that means, as per government record, they are not MSMEs, because now, as of now, MSMEs needs to be registered with Udyam Aadhaar certificate. If they do not have, that means they cannot enjoy any incentives, be it interest subsidy, capital subsidy, or any kind of a loan from banks, because they don't have any registration in this. So that is a challenge which you cannot say that as a challenge. Rather, the government should set up a panel or a team which should go to places like urban, rural places or tier 2, tier 3 cities, which should upgrade their knowledge. That they should also come under the ambit of MSME, and then they can enjoy these kind of benefits.
So I would like to add one point in this, the kind of challenge in today's environment. So I'm taking it as an, like, the currently the geopolitical scenario. I'm just elaborating it. Like if you talk about the rising in cost, the cost is increasing, and it is why it is increasing due to the logistic cost. If you just taken a one kind of a scenario, like you have seen some like disturbance in the due to this geopolitical war or global kind of a war situation, for example, the exporters who used to export to US or to European countries. So their like traveling cost, like the logistic cost has gone increased. Like the ship which used to take a straight way to their destination, now taking a large route. If you have recently come up with the news like the airfares are increasing up, going up. Like for example, there's a war situation in the Asian continents, like the recent war of Israel and Iran. So now for going to the US, now planes are taking the longer routes. So it is just an example. So I come up with this point how MSME. So there's a rising of short-term kind of a short-term problem like rising of logistic cost.
And because we both are bankers, so we know the immediate challenge which MSMEs face are the lack of finances, which generally they do not. If they go to any bank, definitely nobody entertains them. Rather there has to be some specialist where who can support them, even they don't know about this. So that is the reason so me as a ex banker, and now I am promoting MSME lending activities for various MSMEs. And similarly, Vikas, from the bank's point of view, they go to each and every client's shop offices, and they promote the MSMEs, their schemes, which their bank is promoting.
Also, I just want to take an example in the past, like during the pandemic. If you like, I'm just empathizing in this, like MSME is the how MSME is facing challenges. For if you talk about a big corporate, any kind of geopolitical tensions can impact. Like banks want to safeguard their money, so what they do, they immediately stop the lending, or like they reduce the limit provided to the MSME. Right. Where big corporates, like they are having cash, so they can to survive on this kind of scenario. So MSME just like they are dependent on this capital from banks.
Right, you're absolutely right. So I will elaborate more on this if you can understand better in terms of giving an example. Supposedly, the banks give overdraft to various MSMEs based on their sales achieved. Now, supposedly, an MSME who has done a sales of say 10 crore rupees will be given an overdraft of 20%, say 2 crore rupees. Now, next year, they generally renew the proposals, and basis the renewal, if the turnover is decreased to say 8 cr, so they will also reduce the limits to proportionate levels. However, they should understand that if in 1 year the sales has decreased, but that particular MSME have their own set of orders which will spill over in the next year, then they should restrict that limit to 2 cr and should not reduce it. However, they are actually not doing it. They are, going by the products which are manufactured in banks, and basis that only they are giving it without understanding the situation of the MSMEs, which I think government should, or RBI should give a directive to the banks not to reduce immediately, so that the business business should not stuck up. So these are the challenges I think we discussed. Anything else, Devang, apart from this line? So I think there was a slide of overdraft and the products also.
Yes, it's coming.
Coming up on this.
Yes.
Right.
So now I'm taking this presentation forward. Like, what are the bank initiative to promote MSMEs? So like I'm very closely working with the MSMEs, like from onboarding to like managing the relationships, and I used to keep in touch with the accountants also, and the directors, each and everything. So like from bank point of view, we used to every bank, like if you talk about in the past 5 years, they have a customized startup current accounts with host of benefits. Like for example, if you talk about just a premium current accounts, so they are having a host of benefits, like the preferential pricing on the forex, for example, for the exporter importers. Costing is very much important for the MSME point of view. If you talk about like banks used to design a special current account startup where they are providing benefit for 3 years, like without any charges. For example, the waiver on to maintain the current account AMB balances, and there are no fee on like any kind of issuance fees. Forex prices are like, for example, IBR of 5 paisa, 10 paisa kind of benefits. Like they used to provide digital solution. I'm talking about like digital solution for payments and collection through CMS services. Why I'm talking about more on this digital part, because this reduces the cost to the MSMEs also. For example, like for payment, if we talk about in the past, accountants used to prepare the physical checks and the demand drafts and kind of, and they used to visit, like spend on their like automobiles and to visit the branches and to spend, so they used to consume their time also and money also. So digitally, like banks provided them a digital solution for payments like bulk payment and collection through CMS services. So through this, first of all, their reconciliation become easy to maintain their accounting. Like if we talk in my personal experiences, the accountant or the owner used to spend their 30-40% of their productive work in this maintaining these reconciliations and these solutions of issuing check and following up on this. So as a bank, there are
In fact,
customized.
I would take one such example of the CMS services. Earlier, what the MSMEs or any businesses would used to do, that, for example, if they have a employee staff of suppose 500 employees, what they used to do is they used to transfer salary one by one to every employee's account, right? Now CMS has changed this drastically, and now I think they are giving an Excel to the bankers, and they upload that Excel into a system, and then this is automatically processed, right?
So what recent development is for the CMS? Like you don't need to visit physically to branch. What you need to do is to open a net banking. Like there is a CMS tab. You can just open up on the one click. You can upload your Excel to that portal and just submit a click button. Your approver or your director, as per your requirement, they can review the file and they can just click on one OK. There is no visit. So all
no
the
separate transaction should happen.
Nothing.
In one go, they will flow to all the 500 employees, right?
Yes. In a single touch without any mistake. Also, they, for example, if you talk about the salary payment, these are the recurring expenses of the businesses. So they need not to prepare the file again. They can only just change the amount. So once for all, it's got saved into the systems. Also, kind of banks now have adopted the active money facility. Just it is a kind of like for MSMEs, the customized current accounts. Now they are offering higher interest rate on the current account balances. Earlier, no interest used to provide on the current account. So now they are having banks are come up with the customized interest rates.
Okay,
like,
I have heard this interest rate on current account for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that they are giving interest on current account for
Yes.
two MSMEs particularly.
No, so now they are offering to all also. So it is first one of the development in the customized current account.
Okay.
So like any of the balances above 2.5 lakh will automatically go to sweep kind of
Facility.
fixed deposit.
Okay. Right.
So they used to get 6.5% return
On that.
on that.
Okay.
So like MSME used to save every single penny is important to them.
Right.
So it's like they are having benefits from the bank on the interest subsidy also. Here they are also getting the benefited. So we used to, as a banks, many banks, regular webinars and live session with various trade association to educate and promote MSME schemes. Like
we are doing here.
Because
lot many chartered accountants are listening to us. So they will also get to know about this, and then they will promote it to their respective clients.
Yes.
And any other example for this?
Like for the textile industry, like people are doing their work, and majorly 70 to 80% are not aware that this is the benefits come up with the recent development. Like everybody is not following the MSME portal or site.
Right.
They are busy in their so what we used to do, we use a regular session with the trade association, like textile, the toy industry. So depend on their particular theme. They used to promote the MSMEs, like what are the schemes, like a startup scheme or kind of what are the benefited to them. Tough scheme you talked about.
Right.
So these are the regular webinars which we used to do. Also on an all over India basis, like I'm talking an example of one bank. So there are massive trends now. CAs, we are majorly following up with the CA association also to get this conducted on a regular basis. So we also collaborated with the CAs, and we can provide webinars and sponsorship to the CAs also to promote this MSME, and it's a joint association on a pan India basis we used to do, and every banks are doing these. So also we used to have a dedicated trade finance desk. For example, the MSME who are having a export business or import businesses, so like they cannot hire a consultant, like a paid consultant to resolve their. So we used to have a dedicated trade desk, finance desk, to just cater the queries and the what are the like, for example, if you talk about the import side, there is a regulatory requirement of, like, for example, importing. After import, we used to submit a proof, regulatory proof to the RBI within 180 days. Some of them are not aware of the.
Right.
So we used to brief them, and also
trade desk is placed by every bank, not only Kotak, but every
No,
bank
so yes,
have
yes.
their own trade desk,
हाँ.
which helps MSMEs to do the import transactions
हाँ.
and documents
they-
related to that.
Yes, these are free of cost. Also on a customized basis. Also, like if for example, if a client has a specific requirement, for example, domestic to MSME is doing very well, and they want to explore to the overseas or a global market. So here, these desks or these consultancy on a customized particular scenario, bank used to provide them a dedicated officer also, just to brief on the these guidelines and the requirements, and what are the what are the requirements from bank side, so that they can get a brief idea, and they can align to the requirement of the RBI, and the what are those are requirements on the import and export. So these are the facilities that can be free of cost provided to the MSMEs.
Right.
So there is a access to treasury desk also. So like for export import, there is a huge amount of inflow and outflow of forex currencies. So like if you recently see the USD, for example, if you are in the business of import MSME, so from last week in a last 6 7 days, the USD gone up to around 40 45 paisa up in the last 6 7 days. So if increase in this, for example, the USD cost, there is a increase in the import cost. So cost of the material for the importers, like who are the MSMEs, it will go up. So what treasury desk used to do, if you have a treasury excess, you can have a insight of the overall scenario, the whether USD will go up or not. These kind of sessions you can take on a regular basis. You can have hedge your fund, hedge your order. Like for example, if you have book an order for like 3 months down the line at the rate of, for example, 84 USD,
Right.
and by the time of the delivery of the good, it's gone down to 83. So MSME or any of the like exporter, it will impact a 1 rupee kind of loss on this. So what treasury used to do, like they will, if you take an advice from the advisory desk, they can give you an insight on the currency, on the different currency, GBP, USD, and they will help you out in hedging of the currency, so that your export value will not get impacted.
And these facility or trainings are free of cost.
Free of
advisors,
cost. Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
It is just that
Yes.
they should have their account, forex account in the bank, and they should deal with through these accounts, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So these are the many of the MSMEs are not aware of, like they used to think that these kind of facilities will only give it to the big players, or big kind of or a big kind of player. But these are free of cost, available from many banks and majorly of the private sector banks. So these benefits can taken up.
Okay.
नहीं वो मैं बोल देता हूँ.
Also, okay. So we also used to conduct a session to promote corporate and NPS. Like like for the MSMEs, like there are 20-25 person employed with the MSMEs. So just to maintain, or just to give them a good kind of advices, we used to provide a corporate NPS also sessions, and to onboarding to this NPS facility to them.
What is this NPS facility?
There is a national pension schemes, like
Okay.
many of are not aware that each and every employee can opt for this. Like they used to get a tax benefit also. So we used to promote this as a one kind of a tool to them, to educate them on this kind of services, like to through their employees, as a social responsibility,
Right.
kind of. So these are kind of product offering from bank to cater the requirement of the MSMEs, like OD, overdraft, cash credit facility, working capital demand loan, LCs, export packing credits, machinery building loans, loans against property, project financing, home loans to directors for.
So basically these are the products which generally banks offer to all the corporates, all the
Yes, yes, yes.
businesses, but for MSMEs, because they have their targets of 40% of their total book, so they generally give discounts in the form of loans, I mean enhanced loans, and discounts in the form of reduced rate of interest. For example, overdraft and cash credit. Now generally a corporate doesn't get any overdraft, because overdraft is a facility where less covenants are there and less restrictions are there as compared to cash credit. So cash credit limit is generally given to corporates, where a CC maybe 10 crore or 20 crores or anything more than 5 crore is given to corporates. Now they have to do their lot many diligences and documentation for that, which generally a corporate can do. But as far as overdraft is concerned, there are no such documents, monthly documentation required. So they are given to MSMEs. So this is the benefit which MSMEs get from the banks. Then working capital demand loan is again a cheaper form of finance in terms of it generally it is 50 paisa cheaper than overdraft. Then letter of credit, bank guarantee. So letter of credit again is a facility where import is done by any MSME or any corporate or business. And if Vikas can elaborate about LC, how it is operated, or bank guarantees.
Okay. So like for example, LC used to kind of like for example, if we are importing from outside India and we don't know about the supplier, and they also not aware of our working and our credibility. So importer, for example, if we are importing from China, let's suppose, so it's a kind of tool of credit we used to provide on the basis of like our bank commit on basis of the our credibility for the, like for example, any corporate or any MSME. So basis on the their security, bank is liable to pay to the supplier. So these are benefits.
So अगर हम फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हम लोग इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, सपोज आई एम एन इंपोर्टर, यू आर एक्सपोर्टर फ्रॉम चाइना, एंड आई ऑब्वियसली बिकॉज आई डोंट नो यू, सिमिलरली यू आल्सो डोंट नो मी, तो मैं जाऊंगा अपने बैंक के पास, मैं बैंक को बोलूंगा कि मुझे एक डॉक्यूमेंट चाहिए, एलसी ओपन करना है, वो एलसी ओपन करके आपके बैंक को देगा, बेसिस दैट यू आर सिक्योर्ड नाउ कि आफ्टर से 90 डेज आपको ये पैसा आपका मिल जाएगा। सेम वे आप सिक्योर्ड हो गए, मैं इसलिए सिक्योर्ड हो गया, मुझे ये पता है बिकॉज आई डू नॉट हैव टू पे नाउ, जैसा ही मेरे पास गुड्स आएंगे बेसिस दैट आई विल गिव यू द मनी। सो दिस हैपेंस इन लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट। यहाँ कोई फंड्स ट्रांसफर नहीं होते हैं, यहाँ एक गारंटी ट्रांसफर होती है, बट इट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम बैंक गारंटी। सो बैंक गारंटी में जनरली कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स होते हैं गवर्नमेंट के, वो बैंक गारंटी इज जनरली इंडियन, जो इंडिया के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हम बात करते हैं। सो बैंक कोई भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अगर लेना है, फॉर एग्जांपल कोई एमएसएमई है जो बिडिंग करते हैं अपने गवर्नमेंट के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स में, फ्लाईओवर बनाने के लिए और कोई चीज के लिए, तो उसमें गवर्नमेंट एक बैंक गारंटी मांगती है, विच इज जनरली इश्यूड बाय वेरियस बैंक्स। तो कोई भी एमएसएमई अपने बैंक के पास जाएगा और वो उसे बोलेगा कि हमें बैंक गारंटी चाहिए, बेसिस देयर क्राइटेरिया बैंक गारंटी इशू करके बैंक दे देगा उसको, एंड बेसिस दैट बैंक गारंटी द एमएसएमई विल गेट द contract from various governments or various bodies. Similarly, export packing credit, and so it's a pre-shipment and post-shipment. So pre-shipment where जहां हमें एक्सपोर्ट करना है और उसके बाद रॉ मटेरियल परचेज करने के लिए, और उसके बाद जब पोस्ट शिपमेंट मींस वंस द गुड्स आर शिप्ड, then they generally is extended, so it's a basically bill discounting, जहां हमने पैसा अभी नहीं आया और गुड्स हमने भेज दिए हैं, शिप कर दिए हैं, तो उसके बाद गवर्नमेंट बैंक हमारा उसको बिल डिस्काउंट कर हमें दे देगा, एंड हमारा जो पैसा वो 90th या 60th डे या 180th डे पर आएगा, तो वो उससे बाद में एडजस्ट होगा। सिमिलरली मशीनरी बिल्डिंग टर्म, सो इट इज मशीनरी और बिल्डिंग टर्म लोन है, ये it is generally given to setting up of the factories. Then loan against property is a very, I would say a very that kind of product where कोई भी कुछ भी covenant involve नहीं होता, जहां पर आपको फ्री पैसा दिया जाता है विदाउट एनी कंडीशन कि आपने कहाँ खर्च करना है। So this is one of the product which generally lot many MSMEs prefer with.
So इसमें just एक मैं ऐड करना चाहूंगा, like अभी जैसे मैं रिसेंटली कई बार मैं एमएसएमई से मिलता हूँ, तो कई एक जो चैलेंजेस जो मेरे को समझ में आता है जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द लैक ऑफ द नॉलेज, कोई इम्पोर्टर है सॉरी कोई एक्सपोर्टर है, सो लाइक उसको इंटरेस्ट पे सब्सिडी है, उसको नहीं पता, उसको ये पता है कि मेरे को अपना बिजनेस करना है, बिजनेस के लिए पैसा चाहिए, तो सबसे आसान तरीका है उसने अपनी प्रॉपर्टी मॉर्गेज करी, उसमें अपना लैब उठाया, लैब उसको पड़ा फॉर एग्जांपल 9% के हिसाब से, उसने अपना काम करने के लिए, काम तो एक्सपोर्ट ही कर रहा है, उसके बाद वो अपना उसके लिए रॉ मटेरियल परचेज के लिए इन सब पे खर्च कर रहा है, कोई इसको इंटरेस्ट सब्सिडी नहीं मिल रही है, इवन वो भी सिंपल ना उसने बैंकर से किसी से पूछा कि किस पर्पस के लिए चाहिए, ना बैंकर ने एजुकेट किया, ये जो चैलेंजेस आते हैं, अगर वही चीज अगर उसको एक्सपोर्ट करना है, एक्चुअल अगर वो डिस्कशन होता है एमएसएमई के साथ में कि अगर कोई अच्छा खासा कॉर्पोरेट है तो उसको तो पता है कि अपना अगर मुझे एक्सपोर्ट करना है तो मैं इस तरीके से इस वे में लूंगा फाइनेंसिंग कि मेरे को 6% पे पड़े
पड़ जाएगा।
बट वो क्या है कि जनरली जो मैं एनकाउंटर करता हूँ लाइक कि एमएसएमई को पर्पस तो चाहिए था ये ले उसने 9% पे लिया तो 3% तो वो यहाँ पे अननेसेसरी लॉस कर ही रहा है अपना।
So Vikas is right in saying that because he's from that background of trading exporters. So he generally meets the clients and जहां पर ये दूसरे बैंक्स के साथ मिलते हैं, I think वहां पर इनको पता चलता है कि जहां एक्सपोर्ट पैकिंग क्रेडिट मिल सकता था वहां बैंक ने ओवरड्राफ्ट या लोन अगेंस्ट प्रॉपर्टी दे दिया, जो कि थोड़ा सा हायर होता है एज कंपेयर टू एक्सपोर्ट पैकिंग क्रेडिट, बिकॉज एवरीबडी नोज कि गवर्नमेंट इज प्रमोटिंग एक्सपोर्ट्स। तो वो एक्सपोर्ट में जो सब्सिडी देती है इंटरेस्ट की, वो 1 या 2% की, दे कुड हैव गॉट इन देयर ईपीसी क्रेडिट, वो उनको वहां नहीं मिल पाती है, राइट?
जो एक्सपोर्ट से जो ग्रांट्स मिलते हैं वो सब भी वो मतलब अनअवेयर है जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ लैक
ऑफ नॉलेज, राइट?
नॉलेज। उसके अलावा एक जो चैलेंजेस मैं जो रिसेंटली जो एनकाउंटर करता हूँ माय डे टू डे वर्किंग विद दीज एमएसएमईज लाइक कि सर मेरे को लोन तो चाहिए और इस तरीके से वो अप्रोच करते हैं फॉर एग्जांपल कि मेरे लाइक मैं एक प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर डिवीजन को रिप्रेजेंट करता हूँ। देयर आर एन नंबर ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट्स इन द बैंक। अब हर बैंक के जैसे मैंने स्टार्टिंग में भी ब्रीफ किया था कि लाइक एमएसएमई का सबको हर डिपार्टमेंट डिफरेंट डिफरेंट एक इंटरनल अपना टारगेट्स होते हैं, एक सेट ऑफ लाइक किसी का 1,000 करोड़ का बजट है। अब मुझे एज अ एमएसएमई मुझे नहीं पता कि किस डिपार्टमेंट के पास क्या है एग्जैक्टली उस केस में। फॉर एग्जांपल सचिन जी लाइक एज अ कंसल्टेंट लाइक एज अ और काइंड ऑफ अ सीए इफ यू कैन से, बिकॉज ये रोज बैंक के टच में होते हैं, दे आर रेगुलरली फॉलोइंग विद द बैंक फॉर द डिफरेंट डिफरेंट डील्स। तो ये आपको जस्ट एक ये गाइडेंस हमें मिल जाता है कि अब मैं इस पर्सन के पास जा रहा हूँ जिसका तो ऑलरेडी बजट पूरा है, वो मेरे को एक मैंने प्रपोजल भी दिया, मना भी नहीं कर सकते लाइक कि एमएसएमई को मना भी नहीं करना है। तो उसी के बैंक में दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट में वो एमएसएमई की ऑप्शन अवेलेबल है लोन लेने की, बट जस्ट वहां से भी एक थोड़ा मिस आउट हो जाता है कि हम राइट सेट ऑफ पीपल को अप्रोच कर रहे हैं या नहीं कर रहे हैं, या हम राइट डिपार्टमेंट में कर रहे हैं या नहीं कर रहे हैं। तो उस वजह से एक ये आता है कि यार हमारे तो एमएसएमई का वो यहाँ पे लोन था वो तो यार होता ही नहीं, जस्ट एक स्कीम्स चल रही हैं बट वो मतलब बैंक देते ही नहीं है। तो इस चीज़ में थोड़ा मैं ये थोड़ा पेन एरिया होता है कि यहाँ अवेलेबल तो है बजट्स बट वहाँ थोड़ा सेग्रीगेटेड वे में अवेलेबल है, बट राइट प्लेस आने के लिए लाइक वो सचिन जी हो गए या किसी भी तरीके से जो भी एक कंसल्टिंग होते हैं।
So Vikas is basically is right in his sense that Vikas is from one such bank, right? Similarly, जो भी हमारे एमएसएमई हैं किसी ना किसी बैंक्स में एसोसिएटेड होंगे। अगर वो अपने बैंक के पास जाएंगे तो बैंक के पास जो प्रोडक्ट होंगे दे विल ऑफर दैट ओनली, या फिर जनरली दे विल ऑफर टिल द टाइम दे हैव देयर ओन लिमिट्स आर नॉट एग्जॉस्टेड। अगर उनका जो 40% का क्राइटेरिया है वो फुल हो गया तो उसके बाद दे जनरली स्टॉप लेंडिंग टू एनी कॉर्पोरेट और एमएसएमईज। तो वहां पर कहीं ना कहीं एक फाइनेंशियल कंसल्टेंट और बैंकिंग कंसल्टेंट काम आते हैं, जहां पर they can support, they can advise to MSMEs that which bank is funding what. So वहां पर कहीं ना कहीं उन फाइनेंशियल कंसल्टेंट का रोल आता ही आता है। so I think everybody should be educated। कहीं ना कहीं ये अगर एमएसएमईज देखेंगे भी तो कहीं अगर हम लोग नेट पर भी सर्च करेंगे तो भी हम लोगों को दिख जाएंगे कि क्या क्या स्कीम्स हैं। तो वहां कहीं भी ऐसा कहीं भी हम सिर्फ इसके ऊपर रिलाई नहीं कर सकते कि जो हमारा बैंक बताएगा। तो आई थिंक एन इंडिपेंडेंट फाइनेंशियल कंसल्टेंट हैव देयर ओन रोल टू प्ले इन एनहांसमेंट ऑफ क्रेडिट टू एमएसएमईज। What other is there any? Then project financing.
You can just elaborate.
So project financing is basically nothing. It's like a, suppose it can be a greenfield project or it can be a brownfield project. So suppose so if any MSME wants to come into a business, then obviously they would want to purchase a land, and over land they will construct a building or a factory building and then purchase machineries. So we call it project financing, where they want to take financing for establishing a particular project. for which different banks have their own criterias, and they can generally lend to the MSMEs in the ratio of 25-75. So 25% will come from the owner's contribution, the one who is setting up the machineries, the factory, and the 75% will come from the bank side. And not only that, if banks generally extend this project financing repayment by 18 months. We call it the moratorium period, where they do not take any EMI or return of the principal from the MSMEs till 18 months, because it is generally believed that it will take time also to start the factory, and then the factory will come into process and then come into profit even after 12 or 18 months. तो उतना टाइम कहीं ना कहीं फैक्ट्री ओनर्स को भी लगता है प्रॉफिट कमाने में, तो ये बैंक और ये आरबीआई जानता है, दिस इज दैट ओनली दे एक्सटेंड द क्रेडिट. तो प्रोजेक्ट फाइनेंसिंग में आपको कहीं नॉट ओनली दिस, प्रोजेक्ट फाइनेंसिंग भी जनरली वहां लगाया जाए जहां पर गवर्नमेंट भी उसको सब्सिडी दे रही हो. तो ये विन विन सिचुएशन होती है, प्रोवाइडेड अगर सही कंसल्टेंट से सलाह ली जाए.
Also, just I would like to add one more point. I missed out in my slide also. So अभी like कोई भी assessment होता है, कोई भी proposal बैंक के पास आता है to, for example, MSME, so it will earlier used to take 20-25 days or kind of one month. मतलब it keeps on going कि आज ये document, आज वो document, इस तरीके के challenges आते थे. तो उसको encounter करने के लिए bank have introduced like to fetch the information from the GST side. Like we bank provide a link to the MSMEs, or like they can just enter their GSTN number and their entire data bank will automatically fetch, and that will ease of you can say reduce the turnaround time from the bank side. Like for competition of income, like they have a tie-up with the income tax site, like they used to provide you a link, you can enter your credential on their particular link, they automatically their financial will fetched and bank will assess and will come up as like earlier used to take 10-20 days on these assessment and documentation collections. Now these stat reduced to 2 days.
Right. I totally agree with this. In fact, I was speaking to a public sector bank AGM yesterday only, and he told me that Sachinji, now there has been a portal in which we have introduced 30 minutes stat for sanctioning a vehicle loan for MSMEs. So if anybody wants to take a loan on for auto loan particularly, he was talking about, तो वो 30 मिनट के अंदर वो सैंक्शन करके दे देंगे, प्रोवाइडेड उनका सिविल वगैरह सारी चीजें इन ऑर्डर हो. तो 30 मिनट्स इज समथिंग फ्रॉम अ पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक, वी कुडंट हैव एक्सपेक्टेड दिस. तो ये कहीं ना कहीं चीजें बट एमएसएमईज के तरफ आई हैं उनके बेनिफिट्स के लिए.
सो ऑल्सो AI इंट्रोड्यूस होने के बाद से जो बैंक के अंदर भी लाइक आपका जो क्रेडिबिलिटी है, लाइक आप द स्पेंडिंग्स, लाइक ऑल डेटा कनेक्टेड इंटरकनेक्टेड विच ईच एंड एवरीथिंग. सो जो ये एक पैटर्न होता है उसको भी बैंक्स ऑलरेडी AI के थ्रू अपना फैच करके लाइक असेसमेंट के लिए इजी करेंगे स्मॉल लोन्स के लिए. तो टर्न अराउंड टाइम जो है लाइक टू डिसबर्स द लोन, दे आर यूजिंग AI also.
Plus, I would AI is also talk of the town, or I think this in a coming time, maybe in a time frame of 2 to 3 years, this AI will overtake, and I think you will see lot many retrenchments from banks, because everything would be system based, right? The data is there, MSME data. Somebody was talking about the data banks. So the data is already being prepared by the various banks and RBI. Now they are slowly and gradually they are introducing the systems which are AI driven, which have the capacity to see their past trends in a 1 minute time, and this will reduce the manpower from banks, and rather it will be an AI based. And last thing which Vikas has written, I think that is home loan to directors of companies or partners of partnership firms. So I think this home loan is basically, so what happens is, so we can see the drastic difference between the director of, जो एक डायरेक्टर होता है एक नॉर्मल एमएसएमई का, और एक जो डायरेक्टर होता है आपके कोई ब्लू चिप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का. तो ब्लू चिप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लाइक फॉर टाटा, उनमें जो डायरेक्टर्स हैं उनको जो होम लोन दिया जाता है उनकी सैलरी के बेसिस पर दिया जाता है, राइट. बट एमएसएमईज में नॉट ओनली banks consider their salaries, they also consider the profits of the MSMEs also. तो यहाँ पर उनकी एलिजिबिलिटी डायरेक्टर्स की बढ़ जाती है to take the loan. और not only this, vice versa also. Suppose डायरेक्टर सैलरी ले रहे हैं 10 लाख रुपए महीने की और एमएसएमई का प्रॉफिट है सिर्फ 3 लाख रुपए, तो अगर एमएसएमई को लोन चाहिए तो डायरेक्टर की सैलरी बैंक कंसीडर कर लेगा टू गिव द लोन टू एमएसएमईज. So that's a win-win situation for both MSME as well as the promoters. So I think this is the one of the beauty of the banks which are giving loans basis the to companies basis the directors and loans to director basis their companies. Correct. और इसमें कई सरोगेट प्रोडक्ट्स भी इन्होंने इंट्रोड्यूस किए हुए हैं जो नॉट ओनली बेसिस दैट, राइट, नॉट ओनली प्रॉफिट दे जनरली टेक. तो होता क्या है, जब लोन देता है बैंक तो वो जनरली प्रॉफिट देखता है, कैश प्रॉफिट्स. बट एक कुछ सरोगेट प्रोडक्ट्स का मतलब ये है कि बैंक प्रॉफिट नहीं देखेगा, बैंक ओवरऑल देखेगा कि इस प्रमोटर एमएसएमई प्रमोटर ने कितना पैसा ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम कमाया है और अपनी प्रॉपर्टीज बनाई हैं, और या वो कितनी सेल्स दिखा रहे हैं. द प्रॉफिट में बी लेसर बट बेसिस द सेल्स दे जनरली सेट अप अ इंडस्ट्री मार्जिन. सपोज 50 करोड़ की सेल पर 5 लाख रुपए का प्रॉफिट दिखाया किसी भी एमएसएमई ने. अब 5 लाख रुपए के बेसिस पर तो उतना लोन बनेगा नहीं अगर 10 करोड़ का लोन देना है. तो दे जनरली टेक रेफरेंस ऑफ टर्नओवर. तो उन्हें ये पता है 50 करोड़ की टर्नओवर है, दैट मींस दे मस्ट हैव अर्न्ड गुड 10 or 12% at least. Even if we take 10%, तो 50 करोड़ का 10% 5 करोड़ रुपए हुआ. तो 5 करोड़ के बेसिस पर दे विल गिव लोन टू the MSMEs. So this is the beauty of the banks offering MSME products. Similarly, अगर टर्नओवर भी ज्यादा नहीं है और प्रॉफिट भी ज्यादा नहीं है तो बैंक ये देखता है कि इनके कैश बैलेंसेस कितने पड़े रहते हैं इनके अकाउंट में. तो जहां वो कैश बैलेंसेस अगर अच्छे खासे रखे हैं उसके बेसिस पर बैंक दे देते हैं लोन. नाउ अब अगर ये जनरली कोई बंदा या कोई भी एमएसएमई दे डोंट नो, जनरली हार्डली 5% बंदों को पता है, बट देन वी और एनी कंसल्टेंट विच आर हु आर स्पेशलाइज्ड इन दैट दे नो दैट दीज आर द प्रोडक्ट्स विच आर ऑफर्ड टू वेरियस एमएसएमईज बाय द बैंक्स. वहां पर कहीं ना कहीं हेल्प होती है उनकी एमएसएमईज की. एंड देन अगर वो बैलेंसेस भी नहीं है, देन अदर देन दिस इनफैक्ट सम ऑफ द बैंक्स आई हैव हर्ड, आई हैव सीन, जहां वो ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट मार्जिन देख के दे देते हैं. ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट मार्जिन अच्छा है, दैट मींस द कंपनी इज डूइंग गुड, और उसके बेसिस पर वो अपना आगे लोन दे देते हैं उनको. और नॉट ओनली दैट, एमएसएमईज डू रीपे द ऑल दीज ईएमआईज वेल इन टाइम. एवरीबॉडी नोज दैट दे आर अर्निंग मोर देन व्हाट दे आर शोइंग. कहीं ना कहीं चीजें होती हैं जहां अर्निंग और शोज जो एक्चुअल बुक्स ऑफ प्रॉफिट होती हैं उसमें फर्क होता है. सो दैट्स द रीजन, सी व्हाई आरबीआई ने 40% का टारगेट क्यों दिया है. अब वो 40% का टारगेट ऐसे तो अचीव होगा नहीं, बिकॉज एमएसएमईज अपनी बुक्स में उतना पैसा दिखाते नहीं है. तो अल्टीमेटली बैंक्स को पैसा तो फेंकना ही है मार्केट में. फेंकने का मतलब पैसा कहीं ना कहीं लोन देना है, बट लोन ऐसे क्लाइंट को नहीं दे सकते जो डिफॉल्टर हो, जो कहीं ना कहीं फ्यूचर में एनपीए हो सकता हो. तो देयर आर सर्टेन ट्रिगर पॉइंट्स जहां बैंक्स अपने हिसाब से देख लेता है, और बेसिस दैट देयर आर सर्टेन स्कीम्स और देयर आर सर्टेन प्रोडक्ट्स व्हिच हैव बीन फॉर्म्ड जहां वो पेमेंट बैंक्स एमएसएमईज को लोन की फॉर्म में देता है. तो बट अगेन अगर हम कोई भी एमएसएमई डायरेक्ट बैंक के पास जाएगा तो वहां पर उसकी कोई सुनवाई नहीं होगी, बिकॉज दे डोंट नो, रादर बैंकर वुड आल्सो नॉट बी दैट मच ऑफ इंटरेस्टेड. आई एम सॉरी सेइंग दिस, बट इन सम ऑफ द केसेस इट इज ट्रू. तो वहां पर कहीं ना कहीं नॉलेजेबल पर्सन काम आते ही हैं जो डिफरेंट बैंक्स को जानते हैं. सो दैट्स माय पॉइंट. देयर एनी स्लाइड अदर देन दिस?
Thank you, sir.
I think we are done with this. Okay, so another five questions. What are the initiatives taken by banks to improve the flow of credit to MSMEs? Okay, so initiatives taken. So there are lot of initiatives, as I told in during this discussion. First is that they so like in fact in the last point which I was discussing, that where in MSME both directors or promoters or partners are considered at par with the firm or the company. Like if a MSME wants to take any loan, then the director's own own income can also be considered for calculation of the eligibility of the loan, right? Now, other than this, like Vikas was saying, that export packing credit is one of the facility given to various organizations, but note that only MSMEs can get the 2% subsidy from banks and not the the bigger organizations. So जहां MSME की बात आती है, banks को improve करना ही पड़ेगा credit करने के लिए, because they have to achieve their targets. अब they cannot give it to any person who is subprime. So मैं जब बात कर रहा हूँ subprime की, subprime means we should give it to the prime borrower, जो जिनका क्रेडिट रेटिंग अच्छा है, जिनकी क्रेडिट ट्रेंड अच्छा है पास्ट का, उन्हीं को देना है. But at the same time, they don't have that much of profits being shown in or cash flows shown in the books of accounts. So वहां कहीं ना कहीं उनको प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन करने पड़ते हैं, जैसे मैं अभी बताया हमने कि टर्नओवर का प्रोडक्ट हो गया, या ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट बेस्ड हो गया, या जीएसटी बेस्ड हो गया. देयर आर इनफैक्ट विकास इज सेइंग राइट, देयर आर प्रोडक्ट्स जहां पर बैंक्स हैं जहां दे डोंट सी द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स, वो सिर्फ 3 या 5 करोड़ तक का ओवरड्राफ्ट या टर्म लोन दे देते हैं जीएसटी के बेसिस पर. सिर्फ जीएसटी देखा और दे दिया. नाउ देयर इज अ स्कीम कॉल्ड सीजीटीएमएससी, क्रेडिट गारंटी कॉर्पोरेशन, वेयर सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट गारंटी देती है बैंक्स को कि आप अपने बेसिस पर यू कैन ऐड टू दिस,
लाइक जो भी हम लैंडिंग करते हैं उसके इट इज बैक्ड बाय 75% ऑफ द बैक्ड बाय द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इन केस ऑफ एनी डिफॉल्ट.
तो वो कहीं ना कहीं बैंक्स, गवर्नमेंट आल्सो नोज इफ दे आर गिविंग टारगेट टू वेरियस बैंक्स कि आपको 40% करना है, तो वो करेंगे कहां से? उनको कहीं ना कहीं स्कीम्स तो दी जाएंगी. सो इफ देयर इज एनी स्पेसिफिक MSME, वी कैन डेफिनेटली डिस्कस ऑन दैट. बट अदर देन दिस, इंडस्ट्री टू इंडस्ट्री भी बेनिफिट मिल रहा है, लाइक टफ सब्सिडी इन टेक्सटाइल या कुछ और आईटी से रिलेटेड या स्टार्टअप. इनफैक्ट गवर्नमेंट इज एनकरेजिंग स्टार्टअप्स. वहां 10 करोड़ तक की फंडिंग बैंक्स गवर्नमेंट एनकरेज कर रही है बैंक्स को देने के लिए. और जो सीजीटीएमएससी वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट, दिस इज रेस्ट्रिक्टेड टू 5 करोड़ एंड दिस इज प्योरली अनसिक्योर्ड. कोई कोलेटरल देने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि बैंक सो व्हाई कोलेटरल इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, बिकॉज बैंक इज सेइंग, government is saying that 75% of the total amount of loan is secured by the guarantee of central government. That is the reason they have formed a trust, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट गारंटी ट्रस्ट. तो उसका अगर 75% बैंक को मिल गया कि तो बैंक्स आर सेफ, so bank can give loan to these MSMEs basis that guarantee. तो यहाँ कहीं कोई collateral देने की जरूरत नहीं है. So this in itself is a good initiative for banks to promote it.
Also, like banks are now adopting the tie-ups with the fintech also, just to improve the flow to the credit to MSMEs. Like they are like fintechs, they are having a ready-made data available, and they have a like bank used to promote their credit through the traditional methods. So now banks are also adopting customized solution with the help of the these fintechs, just to promote and just to full-fledged providing the credit and ease way of credit to the MSMEs.
और इनफैक्ट जो 5 करोड़ अभी वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट CGTMSE, ये पहले 2 करोड़ हुआ करता था. तो मिस्टर मोदी हैज डन अ वेरी वेल जॉब ऑन दिस MSME सेक्टर, दैट दिस गवर्नमेंट हैज इंक्रीज इट फ्रॉम 2 करोड़ to 5 करोड़. एंड नॉट ओनली दैट, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एक प्रीमियम लेती थी अपनी गारंटी के लिए. ऑब्वियसली जब वो गारंटी दे रही है तो वो गारंटी ट्रस्ट जो देती है वो इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के साथ एक टाई अप करके देती है. नाउ वो अर्लियर द गवर्नमेंट यूज्ड टू टेक दैट प्रीमियम ऑफ 2% फ्रॉम एवरी क्लाइंट्स एंड MSMEs separately, but now this 2% has now been reduced up to 60 पैसा only. 60 पैसा से 1% तक का आप प्रीमियम लेते हैं. So now the amount has increased and the premium or the insurance premium has reduced, costing reduced. तो कहीं ना कहीं benefit initiatives तो लिए हैं banks ने. And then the targets we discussed already ना.
Yes.
Targets वाला हम लोगों ने discuss कर लिया था. Generally MSME PSL के टारगेट दिए जाते हैं. मैं फिर थोड़ा reiterate कर रहा हूँ. प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग एक कैटेगरी है, एक नॉन प्रायोरिटी है, एक प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर. व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग, दैट मींस उसमें आपका MSMEs आ जाते हैं, उसमें आपका एग्रीकल्चरिस्ट आ जाते हैं, उसमें आपके और जितने भी हैंडक्राफ्ट की बनाते हैं वो सारे प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर में आ जाते हैं. बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट को इंडियन, पर्टिकुलरली इंडियन इकोनॉमी इज ड्रिवन बाय एग्रीकल्चर इनिशियली. तो कहीं ना कहीं उनको उसको भी प्रमोट करना है. तो 40% टोटल बुक का 40% शुड बी एक्सटेंडेड टू PSL. तो ये PSL के टारगेट्स होते हैं. MSME के सेपरेटली कोई ऐसे टारगेट्स नहीं है. बट यस, MSME एक बिगर चंक है बैंक्स का. तो कहीं ना कहीं वो MSME बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले करता है टारगेट्स में. और अगर टारगेट्स पूरे नहीं होते हैं MSME या PSL के, तो बैंक को अपने या तो एक गवर्नमेंट के अकाउंट में फ्री पैसा रखना पड़ता है, उतना नहीं तो वो बैंक्स कैन परचेज देयर द बुक्स, द पोर्टफोलियो फ्रॉम वेरियस अदर बैंक्स और फ्रॉम अदर NBFCs, नॉन बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल कॉर्पोरेशंस. So ये टारगेट्स होते हैं. एंड देन व्हाट आर द मेजर फंक्शन ऑफ कमर्शियल बैंक्स इन प्रमोटिंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स. आई थिंक हम लोगों ने पूरा डिस्कस किया है, ये फंक्शंस ही डिस्कस किए हैं. जिसने भी ये पूछा है क्वेश्चन, इट इज वेरी जेनरिक क्वेश्चन, बट कमर्शियल बैंक्स के फंक्शन क्या होते हैं? पैसा लेना और पैसा देना. पैसा लेना मीन्स वो डिपॉजिट लेता है इधर इन द फॉर्म ऑफ सेविंग अकाउंट्स और इन द फॉर्म ऑफ करेंट अकाउंट्स और मे बी FDs. और जो पैसा दे और मे बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ म्यूचुअल फंड्स आल्सो बैंक्स करते हैं म्यूचुअल फंड्स वगैरह. सो विकास इज फ्रॉम द वेल्थ साइड, सो ही नोज बेटर इन टर्म्स ऑफ पैसा लेना, एंड आई एम फ्रॉम द लेंडिंग साइड, सो आई नो बेटर इन फॉर इन टर्म्स ऑफ पैसा देना. सो और जो पैसा देने का भी ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड कि लोन्स होते हैं पैसा देने के, उसमें या फिर लिमिट्स होती हैं. सो लोन्स एंड लिमिट्स आर टू डिफरेंट थिंग्स. लिमिट होती है जहां आपको जो स्टॉक और डेटर्स को प्रोक्योर करने के लिए दी जाती है, और जो पैसा वापस नहीं देना होता है बैंक को, वो पैसा क्लाइंट ही रखता है. लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि क्लाइंट को पैसा वापस नहीं देना है, वो देना है, बट ओवर वो हर साल रिन्यूअल होता है. तो वो रिन्यूअल के टाइम द क्लाइंट और एनी MSME, वो अगर उसका बिजनेस डाउन होगा तो बैंक कैन रिकॉल दैट लोन और लिमिट from that particular MSME anytime. और जो लोन होता है, लोन इज बेस्ड मोर ऑफ बेस्ड ऑन इन अ ईएमआई terms. I mean that loan is repaid over a period of time in various EMIs on a monthly basis. तो मंथ ऑन मंथ उनको ईएमआई में प्रिंसिपल कंपोनेंट भी होता है, इंटरेस्ट भी होता है. तो ये मेजर फंक्शन होते हैं कमर्शियल बैंक्स के.
क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 इज इट डिफरेंट फ्रॉम ऑटो स्वीप? आई थिंक ये जो एक्टिव मनी के ऊपर बात हो रही है, तो ये कि ना कस्टमाइज है. लाइक ऑटो स्वीप में कुछ एक कहीं कहीं पे बैंक इस तरीके से देता है कि जो मैक्सिमम रिटर्न फैच हो. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल 180 डेज पे, जैसे मैं इस एक्टिव मनी पे बात करता हूँ, कि एक 180 डेज पे 7% बैंक इंटरेस्ट पे करता है ऑन करंट अकाउंट बैलेंस. वही अगर वो 181 पे जाता है, तो अगर वो नॉर्मल स्वीप के थ्रू होता है, तो उसमें एक अपना प्री मैट के चार्जेस वगैरह होते हैं. तो उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए हर बैंक अपने डिफरेंट डिफरेंट एक प्रोडक्ट टूल इस तरीके से क्रिएट करता है, जस्ट कि इसको प्री पैनल प्री मैच्योर कोई चार्जेस भी ना लगे और उसको एक रेट भी अच्छा फैच हो जाए. तो ये एक काइंड ऑफ कह सकते हो ऑटो स्वीप, बट ये थोड़ा डिफरेंट होता है, कस्टमाइज और बैंक टू बैंक डिपेंड करता है. सो लाइक इन कोटक इट इज 7% एंड इट इज फॉर 180 डेज. सो प्रोडक्ट इस तरीके से डिजाइन है कि कोई इसमें कोई चार्जेस ब्रेक या इनफ्लो आउटफ्लो पे कोई इम्पैक्ट ना करे.
बट ऑटो स्वीप जो होती है वो फैसिलिटी दी हो जाती है बिकॉज वो लाइक यू वर सेइंग दैट
Ideal
वो
पड़ा है
6-6.5% यू वर
हाँ.
सेइंग ना.
हाँ, जनरली क्या होता है कि किसी को पता है कोई पैसा हमारे पास इनफ्लो आया है, उसका कोई यूज नहीं है अभी, कि वेंडर पेमेंट वगैरह में टाइम है, तो रखा है ऐसे जैसे करंट अकाउंट में पड़ा है, वो कहीं पे निकाल के सेविंग्स में ट्रांसफर करे, रेदर वो यहीं पे अपना ऑटो स्वीप का इनेबल्ड करा लो कि अपना वो एक
और अगर अच्छा तो अगर फॉर एग्जांपल आज पैसा ऑटो स्वीप में आ गया एंड कल अगर उस क्लाइंट को फिर कोई चेक काटना है तो वो अपने आप ऑटो
ऑटो
हो जाएगा.
हाँ, पेमेंट
हो जाएगी उस अकाउंट से.
हाँ हाँ, विदाउट ब्रेक करे वो अपना निकल जाता है. जो जस्ट वो ये कि अपना एक सिंगल पैनी भी क्यों वेस्ट किया जाए, तो लाइक तो ये उसके लिए इनेबल्ड है.
बट आई कुड अंडरस्टैंड देवांग, somebody has written is it different from auto sweep. तो ये ऑटो स्वीप कोई और पीछे कोई और भी चीज पूछना चाह रहे हैं ये?
नहीं, हर क्वेश्चन में यही आया कि इज इट डिफरेंट फ्रॉम ऑटो स्वीप.
अच्छा ठीक है.
हाँ, तो वही मैंने बताया कि वो डिजाइन करता है, बैंक कस्टमाइज करता है, वो काइंड ऑफ जाता है एफडी में ही है. तो कई जगह पे एक्टिव मनी टिक कर दिया एक बार खुद से अपने, तो ऐसे कुछ कोई फॉर्मेलिटीज करने की जरूरत नहीं है, ऑटोमेटिकली पैसा जाता है अकाउंट में. वो अकाउंट में और बाय डिफॉल्ट इनेबल्ड करके देते हैं, जिससे कि आपको कुछ अलग से फैसिलिटी करवानी नहीं है. अकाउंटिंग वगैरह भी ईजी रहती है. आते ही अपना मिनिमम के ऊपर का बैलेंस वहाँ पे चला गया. जैसे मैंने कहा कि कस्टमाइज सोल्यूशन में 3 साल तक किसी को एमबी मेंटेन नहीं करनी है अकाउंट में, और कोई चार्जेस नहीं है उस तरीके से. तो ये बैंक टू बैंक है, ये सबके लिए कॉमन नहीं है. जस्ट टू प्रमोट, लाइक अभी आप देखेंगे रिसेंटली जो पिछले 2 सालों में और अभी आप आने वाले सालों में बैंकिंग आप पूरी डिफरेंट ऑल टुगेदर डिफरेंट बैलेंस शीट आप पाओगे अक्रॉस. सो अर्लियर आप देखते थे, मैं इसलिए थोड़ा इस पे बात करूं एक्टिव मनी पे, वाई बैंक इज प्रमोटिंग दीज काइंड ऑफ फैसिलिटीज, बिकॉज जस्ट टू जनरेट देयर इनफ्लो टू बैंक. सो जब से ये हमारा जो रिफॉर्म हुआ है म्यूचुअल फंड का, आप देख रहे हैं सारा का सारा पैसा हर कोई, चाहे वो मिडिल क्लास हो सैलरी क्लास हो, वो जो सेविंग्स की टेंडेंसी थी एफडी में फंड पार्क करना और आरडी करना, वो सबकी ऑलमोस्ट 70% 80% हैबिट अभी नहीं है आज की डेट में. तो आज की डेट में बैंकों के पास लैंड करने के लिए वो जो ग्रोथ, जो हिसाब से बैंक पहले अपना डिपॉजिट ग्रो करता था, आपने देखा होगा पास्ट में ईयर ऑन ईयर 30-35% के हिसाब से जो ग्रो करता था, आज की डेट में वो इट इज इन सिंगल डिजिट बिटवीन 9 to 10% इन द रिसेंट. अगर आप रिसेंट के फाइनेंशियल्स या जो भी आप देखेंगे करंटली बैलेंस शीट या आने वाले जितने भी आप देखेंगे, तो वहाँ पे लोन ग्रोथ तो 17% 18% के हिसाब से हो रही है, लेकिन डिपॉजिट ग्रोथ इज नाउ इन अ सिंगल डिजिट 8% 9% काइंड ऑफ. तो जस्ट टू प्रमोट दीज, टू encourage people to put money in banks, so these kind of small customized solution banks are offering.
बिकॉज क्योंकि आज की डेट में बैंक्स को अगर हम लोगों ने सुना होगा अपने, बिकॉज वी ऑल आर क्वालिफाइड सीएस, तो हर बंदे ने ये सुना होगा दैट बैंक्स आर banks require deposits at any cost, क्योंकि इनकी lending हो रही है, and we can see that this trend कि पिछले 2.5 या 3 साल से जो हमारा रेपो रेट है वो डिक्लाइन नहीं हो रहा है, वो स्टेबल है. Although every monetary policy it is generally talked that कि इस बार कम हो जाएगा, but वो कम नहीं हो रहा है. Why it is not getting reduced? Because RBI देख रहा है कि lending चाहे 6.5% जो रेपो है उसके ऊपर जनरली बैंक 2% अपना प्रॉफिट ऐड करते हैं, 8.5 या 2.5%, 9% पर फंडिंग हो रही है और सारे बिजनेसेस ले भी रहे हैं उसके ऊपर. दैट मींस बिजनेसेस आर ग्रोइंग, एमएसएमईज आर ग्रोइंग. तो जब वो ले रहे हैं तो उनके पास ऑब्वियसली बैंक का बिजनेस क्या है, पैसा लेना और पैसा देना. अब अगर पैसा देना पड़ रहा है इन टर्म्स ऑफ लोन, बिकॉज कमाई बैंक्स की वहां से है, तो बैंक्स का पैसा आएगा कहाँ से? सो दैट इज द रीजन विकास इज सेइंग कि इनके करंट अकाउंट बैलेंसेस पहले क्योंकि कोई जीरो रेट होता था, इंटरेस्ट नहीं मिलता था, वहां पर अब इन्होंने ये स्कीम्स लेके आ रहे हैं कि करंट अकाउंट में भी हम पैसा दे देंगे, आपको इंटरेस्ट देंगे, आप हमें पैसा दीजिए. सो कहीं ना कहीं दे आर इंट्रोड्यूसिंग लॉट मेनी डायनामिक प्रोडक्ट्स. इनफैक्ट आई थिंक अगर हम लोग बिजनेस न्यूज वगैरह देखते पढ़ते हैं तो वहां कहीं ना कहीं हमारे जो आरबीआई के गवर्नर हैं, दे हैव आल्सो टोल्ड to various public sector banks that they should, it is high time that they should also devise various innovative products so that money can come into their accounts.
ऑल्सो सो अभी रिसेंट में जस्ट रिसेंट सिनेरियो में इस पे ही डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ. सो अगर आप दो बैलेंस शीट हैं, एक प्राइवेट सेक्टर और आप एक अगर पीएसयू की सेक्टर की आप देखेंगे तो जो अपने पीएसयू हैं उनके एनपीएस वो दे आर कीप ऑन डिक्रीजिंग, मतलब दे आर इम्प्रूविंग. और वहां पे डिपॉजिट तो पहले भी होता था, मतलब उतने लार्ज स्केल में नहीं होता था, बट उन्होंने क्या अडॉप्ट किया है कि जो फिनटेक्स के साथ में टाई अप किए हैं, जैसे आपने इजी टैप देखा होगा या आपने क्रेडिट फॉर एग्जांपल, तो इन्होंने टाई अप कर करके इन्होंने क्या किया, जस्ट फ्यू क्लिक्स पे लोन्स अवेलेबल हैं और स्मॉल स्मॉल लोन्स. तो उन्होंने क्या किया कि उनका पैसा पहले कि आप देखते होंगे बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा या पीएनबी ने किसी एक को 6,000 करोड़ का लोन दिया, डिफॉल्ट हो गया, इतना बड़ा एनपी आया, तो उन्होंने भी अपना ये फिनटेक के साथ टाई अप कर करके इन पास्ट 3-4 ईयर उन्होंने अपना एनपीए भी नहीं होता ज्यादा,
because they have diversified their portfolio, right?
Yes, also they are lending on a higher rate, like किसी को 8-10 दिन के लिए भी पैसा चाहिए और 14% पे मिल रहा है,
right,
बैंक को भी 12% के हिसाब से वापस आ रहा है.
Correct.
बीच में इंटीग्रेटेड जो फिनटेक है वो भी 2% कमा रहा है.
Actually.
सो आरबीआई का जो रिसेंट पास्ट में न्यूज था कि डिपॉजिट जिस हिसाब से इंडिया के अंदर म्यूचुअल फंड की ग्रोथ हुई है, तो वो जो डिपॉजिट है उस तरीके से वापस नहीं आएंगे. तो बैंक को ही उन्होंने बोला है कि आप कस्टमाइज सॉल्यूशन के साथ आओ, जैसे फिनटेक्स अगर आ सकते हैं, लाइक टू प्रोवाइड क्रेडिट टू द इंडिविजुअल्स एंड द कॉर्पोरेट्स. तो अपने को भी डिजाइन करने को बोला है कि बैंक अपने आप को एक कस्टमाइज सॉल्यूशन लेके आए. तो इस एक्टिव मनी इज वन ऑफ काइंड प्रोडक्ट की टू जस्ट अट्रैक्ट डिपॉजिट टू द बैंक.
Right, right. और ये not only this has helped reducing the NPAs of various public sector or private sector banks, but it is also giving opportunity to various individuals setting up their own small units, which initially were not getting any credit from various banks. तो जो अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक कोई एक इंडिविजुअल जो एक 10 लाख रुपए किसी बैंक से मांगता है और उसको आज अगर हम 5 लाख रुपए इमीडिएटली दे देते हैं, तो ही वुड बी हैप्पी एटलीस्ट टू गेट 5 लाख रुपीज, ऑल्दो एट अ सम हायर रेट. वो पहले नहीं होता था कहीं भी. आज जो वेरियस फिनटेक्स हैव इंट्रोड्यूस दिस 1 or 2 days टैट मशीनरीज वेयर, जहां वो डिफरेंटली 5-5 लाख रुपए 1000 बंदों को दे देते हैं. उनका क्राइटेरिया बड़ा सिंपल है, दैट उनको सिर्फ डिफॉल्ट नहीं हुआ होना चाहिए, बेसिस दैट दे गिव दिस काइंड ऑफ क्रेडिट. और कहीं ना कहीं जो इंडिविजुअल है उसका अपना काम चलता है, एंड ऑब्वियसली ही कैन रीपे, ही विल रीपे इट. सो उनका फंडा जो बिजनेस का जो फंडामेंटल है वो क्या है, कैलकुलेशंस क्या है, दैट डिफरेंट बैंक्स जो ये वर्टिकल्स बनाए हैं फिनटेक्स वाले, they generally calculate that out of 100 numbers, 5% 4-5% डिफॉल्ट होगा ही होगा, राइट? बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली क्योंकि ये हर बंदे को मनी मिल रही है तो कहीं ना कहीं 4 या 5% डिफॉल्ट होगा, बट देन एटलीस्ट दे आर अर्निंग अनदर 5% ओवर एंड अबव द नॉर्मल इनकम, तो कहीं ना कहीं वहां उन्हें फायदा भी हो रहा है, तो दे जनरली लुक फ्रॉम दैट परस्पेक्टिव.
ऑल्सो इफ यू टेक एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ क्रेड, तो क्रेड किस तरीके से वो क्रेडिट कार्ड पे पॉइंट्स देने के नाम पे आया था, और क्रेड ने क्या किया, धीरे धीरे उसके पास एक डेटाबेस तैयार होता गया, उसके पास दिख रहा है, उसका स्पेंडिंग पैटर्न नजर आ रहा है, उसको सिविल नजर आ रहा है, तो वो क्या है कि जो ऑफरिंग वगैरह करते हैं उनके पास सिविल डेटा भी है, स्पेंडिंग पैटर्न्स भी है, तो उसके हिसाब से जिनके हायर सिविल स्कोर्स हैं तो उनको वो पैटर्न के हिसाब से ऑफरिंग भी उस तरीके से करता है, और मैक्सिमम 4-5 मिनट्स के अंदर वो टैप पे क्लिक करके हाई रेट पे, आज की डेट में एक एक सारे डेटा इंटरकनेक्टेड हैं, वीट आधार, वीट पैन और डिफरेंट डिफरेंट, तो जो असेसमेंट वगैरह है, जो फिजिकल विजिट्स और ये होता था, वो सब इजी हो गए हैं,
राइट.
तो ये एक डेवलपमेंट है.
So I think 2 सालों में I think it will be a sea change, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So you will see a drastic change in banking, like we are witnessing inside our organizations, also in the major private sector banks also. और मेरा रीजन भी था, जो मैंने फर्स्ट जो टॉप 10 ट्रेंड इंडिया पे जो चल रहा है जो डिस्कस किया, सो एंटायर बैंकिंग इज हैज अडॉप्टिंग, एंड नाउ दे आर seeing the affluent class is emerging in India, and they are now focusing to those segments for the upcoming years, and they are preparing themselves for the upcoming 5 year down the line.
Right. Then last question is, can we get a list of various types of bank finances available to MSME which can be shared with MSME clients? Okay, I think this must have asked by any practicing chartered accountant who have lot many MSME clients. So we definitely share that list of, in fact, we discuss it also. Though the list was mentioned there in terms of types of bank finances, where we run a slide of overdraft cash credit and export packing credit. But yes, on an individual basis also, we can send that list in detail how the assessment is done of of these particular product of any bank. In fact, not only that, we can also discuss case to case basis, like if they have a lot many MSMEs which are asking for various schemes, we can definitely give solutions to them. You can connect to me or Vikas on our individual mobile numbers also, which you can mention in our in the last slide. You can write it down, because generally this is not visible. So you can write down your mobile number as well as my mobile number name, so that this can be so that anybody who can want to connect can definitely connect us. Yeah, I think you will do it. Edit. You are unable to edit it? Yeah, now you can do that. So you can connect, you can see the slide also where you can connect us individually, and we would be more than happy to give you any kind of advice or any kind of solution to be given to any MSME who is feeling pain in their own existing bank, or if they are not getting any right kind of product. We can definitely go and discuss, or can be discussed on call. Or we have, so my office is based out in central Delhi. Vikas is from Kotak, so for any kind of Kotak query you can discuss with Vikas also.
Also, for any of your cities, like if you want to do any webinars or any kind of local support from there to like your own city, you can reach me out. I can take you connected with the respective zonal managers for the webinars or for any CA events if you want to do, or any kind of webinar. So we can, I'm ready to take your calls on that.
Many thanks to Devang and his team and the team ICA who has given this opportunity, and we will continue to work on the MSME forums maybe in time to come. And thanks as of now, thanks from our side. In case of any questions still somebody wants to discuss, definitely they can discuss in detail with us. So I am CA Sachin Dargan and Vikas Rai.
Thanks, Sachin, for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving a wonderful session. Thank you, Vikas sir and Sachin sir, both. And thank you, technical support. Leave कर दो आप, please.